I can't believe I'm making another one of these videos. You may remember I told you the story about the missing skulls of these composers. One of my friends just sent me a link, hi Audrey, that apparently Haydn's head was also missing. Haydn was Austrian. He died in 1809, and at the time he died, Vienna was at war, so there was no time to bury him properly. After 10 years, they decided, okay, we're gonna have like a nice funeral for him, give him a nice grave, all of that kind of stuff. Now, I bet you know where this is going. They opened the grave and his head was missing, but the wig was still there. They left the damn wig and took his head. What the hell? Continuity error. I'm now wearing a jumper because I got cold. So how this is different from some of the other stories we've covered is that we know exactly who these grave diggers were. So there was one guy called Rosenbaum who actually knew Haydn personally. He was very well acquainted with Haydn's employers. The other guy was called Peter, who was the governor of a prison. So these guys were into a little thing called phrenology. Phrenology has been debunked for ages, but basically what they would do is they would study the cranial anatomy and try and make parallels with people's cognitive abilities. So whenever an artistic genius would die, scientists would think, perfect opportunity to study their brain, and this is what happened with Beethoven. Now you can find details of what that whole grave digging process was like online, but I would suggest you don't because it's really disgusting. Finished studying it, Peter just kept it. It was at his house. He'd show it to visitors. It was in a box. Just, cool dinner party conversation. After some time, Peter ended up giving the skull to Rosenbaum because he was sharing his caring. For 10 years, when they were then able to rebury Haydn in a nice tomb and stuff, they open it up. They find there's no head. They immediately knew, okay, we know that his brain was being studied and these two guys have probably kept it. Now, you would think that would be the end of it. These guys would just be like, okay, yeah, you got us. We have the head. Here you go. Have it back. Oh, but no. So first they blamed another doctor who had conveniently died. And then not once, but twice, they tried to do like a switcheroo with a fake skull. They did a search of Rosenbaum's house and he hid the skull in a straw mattress and then had his wife go on the mattress and say like, oh, I have my period, don't come and search the mattress. What? So Rosenbaum actually got away with keeping Haydn's skull. He successfully gave a fake one and stopped them from searching his house. After Rosenbaum had died, he gave the skull back to Peter, and then once Peter died, he then willed it down, and numerous physicians would have the skull over a really long period of time. It was not until 1954 that his head was placed back into his body in a really nice fancy tomb. Haydn's skull was restored with the rest of his skeleton. However, they didn't actually remove the substitute skull from the grave, which means that somewhere in Eisenstadt lays Haydn's remains with two heads. Wild.